The classes at Bodhi Yoga are pure. They're not tainted with anything commercial or anything phony or anything materialistic, egoistic. They're pure. And you can be whatever you want, like no judgment. It's all good.
What got me into yoga in the first place was my granddaughter. She's a physical fitness practitioner, and she teaches physical fitness classes. And she came to visit me, and she went to the gym with me, and she said, "Grandpa, this is not good." And I love this little granddaughter, so I humored her and went to yoga class with her. And I started doing yoga then 3 times a week, and I pretty soon was encouraged by her to give up all my other forms and just focus on yoga, which I have done now for the last 8 or 9 years. I guess my only regret about yoga is that I was almost 70 before I began. I am quite a different person than I was then. For one thing, it's, I think, almost ridiculous to be almost 80 and feel better than when you were 50. And I have lost 30 to 40 pounds. It kind of goes back and forth without any particular effort. And of course, along with the practice of yoga, I've adjusted my diet to more of a yogi-like life. And it's just, I feel like it saved my life. I've had many health benefits from it, and have enjoyed these years of practicing it with, I don't recall ever being ill or having even a cold.
The beautiful thing about yoga is that it gives me consciousness about my movement. We're constantly moving, obviously. The problem that I see is that very often we're unconscious of the movement that we're making, right down to the way our brain is moving. And as I have indulged in, immersed myself in yoga, I've become more conscious of the movement that I make, and my movements become more graceful and easy and natural and normal and intuitive, and I can express myself more genuinely. My mind goes away. and it's not to say that I'm in the ozone, but I go down into my heart rather than my mind. I start thinking with my heart, if you will. And so the mind and the heart come together is what it comes down to. I would say that the movements are secondary. The postures are secondary, vital but secondary. And what is primary is what's going on inside of the individual. And yoga takes me to that place where I can stand back and look at what's ticking inside of me through the movements. And so the postures are critical but secondary. Namaste.
My neurologist suggested I try yoga as a kind of a way of feeling more grounded. So I did. I started with some teachers in town, and then had to find me a new teacher, and someone suggested Sil. So I came, and that first class, I learned more than I had learned in 2 years, because I learned why and how you make it work, not just what it looks like. Well, I realized that some yoga traditions are just not what would do anything for me. They're too fast, they're too explosive. I just barely get into the position and they'd be on to the next one. And then I discovered restorative yoga. And then I found the Bodhi Yoga Studio before it was the Bodhi Yoga Studio. And just found that whatever was done here was right for what I needed, or I could adapt it, and it was all good. And also there was that time when we were in the other studio up there where I realized because they were trying to get my blood pressure down at that time. I realized that when I walked in, my blood pressure just went down.